Hey guys, we're going to go ahead and start our coronavirus 2 weeks of stuff today. Today is Friday, and this is like just an overview of the lesson, kind of like what I normally put on the board. So today's objective is I can solve a quadratic by completing the square. This is the same stuff as what you did yesterday. It's just, I'm going to do another video of it because this is complicated. We haven't done this before. Okay, your homework is 2 through 17, odds or evens, and 18 and 19. So I want you to make sure that's turned in to me, but since today is Friday, it does not get turned in until next Friday, okay? Next Friday, take a picture of all your assignments together and email it to me. Please don't email every single day. Just on Friday, you're going to take a picture of every assignment you have until then. That way that I'm not getting 85 emails a day. I'm getting 85 emails a week. Okay? Next thing. All right, so let's look at this one. My first term is 1, so that's what I need to have. I'm going to have x squared plus 2x. Remember, I get rid of that 5, I move it to the other side, equals 3. And then in this little blank right here, I add negative b over 2a squared, b over 2a squared. Let's see here. So I have x squared plus 2x that I haven't changed. And I have a 3 that I haven't changed. But if I'm going to do negative b over 2a squared, that is negative 2 over 2 times a is 1, and all of that is squared. Negative 2 over 2 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. So I'm going to add 1 to each side. Then I need to make my little factor tree over here. Things that add or multiply to 1 that add to 2. So that's just 1 and 1. That's kind of the only factors we have. So 1 times 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So in here I have my binomials. I have x plus 1 times x plus 1. And I can simplify 3 plus 1 to be 4. So then I can rewrite this as x plus 1 squared equals 4. And then to get rid of a squared, I need to square root it. And if I square root one side, I have to square root the other. So I end up with x plus 1, this gets rid of this, equals plus or minus 2. Then, if you remember, we set up two equations. X plus 1 equals positive 2. X plus 1 equals negative 2. So I'm going to take 1 away from both sides. Over here I have x equals 1, minus 1, minus 1. Over here I have x equals negative 3. Since I am grading these kind of off pictures, please, 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 please box your answers. Make it clear what you're doing so that I know what you're doing. Okay? Make it very, very clear. All right, number 3. Same thing. First thing I got to do is get rid of this 23. Minus 23, minus 23. X squared minus 12x plus blank equals, I'm just going to combine those. Negative 4 and negative 23 is negative 27. I can probably do that in my head. Then I have negative b over 2a squared is negative 12 over 2 times 1 squared. So that becomes 12 over 2, which is 6. 6 squared is 36. So I'm adding 36 to each side. Then, next, I need x multiplying to, not 1, I don't know why I wrote 1, sorry guys, to 36, right? I'm multiplying to this number, and I'm adding to this number, and make sure you keep whatever the sign is on that coefficient, adding to negative 12. Because if I add 6 times 6, that equals 36, but it adds to 12. That's not what I need. I need negative 6 times negative 6 equals 36. Negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12. So in here I have x minus 6 times x minus 6 equals negative 27 plus 36, x minus 6 squared. Okay, so you've got negative 27 plus 36 over here, which is 9, not negative 9. Why am I thinking negative 9? Equals 9. Then I have to get rid of this square by square rooting it. So I have x minus 6 equals plus or minus 3. Two equations, x minus 6 equals positive 3, and x minus 6 equals negative 3. Right, that's my two equations. Add 6 to both sides, x equals 9. Add 6 to both sides, x equals 3. And make sure you box your answers because, like I said before, I'm going to be doing this so randomly, so I want to make sure that we have, sorry, I was just checking to make sure we're still recording. I want to make sure that I can find your answers to give you some kind of feedback so that you know, hey, I'm doing this right, or hey, I'm doing it wrong. All right, number 4. So we start by getting rid of that 25. Plus 8n equals negative 15. You don't need me to write minus 25 minus 25. I will just in case. Minus 25 minus 25. Plus whatever my blank is. And then I'm going to figure out my negative b over 2a squared, negative 8 over 2 times 1, all that squared. This becomes negative 4, and negative 4 squared is 16. So I'm adding 16 to both sides. That 16 came from here. Okay. So then I need factors of things that multiply to 16 that add to 1. Or not 1, 8. 8. Things that multiply to 16 that add to 8. So that's 4 and 4. Right? 4 times 4 is 16. 4 plus 4 is 8. So I can rewrite this as n plus 4 times n plus 4 equals 1. Okay, the 1 came from these two numbers combined. I just combined them. The n plus 4s came from here, the things that multiply to be the last term and add to be your middle term. Okay, we're multiplying to get c and we're adding to get b. So then I can rewrite this whole thing as n plus 4 squared equals 1. I can get rid of it by square rooting both sides. So I have n plus 4 equals plus or minus 1. Rewrite as two equations. N plus 4 equals plus 1. N plus 4 equals minus 1. Subtract 4 from both sides. N equals negative 3. And n equals negative 5. And please box your answers. I'll probably say that the whole time we're out, so sorry. Oh, I believe this, yep, that's the last one. We have one more for today, and then you can work on your homework assignment. So m squared plus 18m plus blank equals, well, we're going to add that 22, 19 plus blank. Negative b over 2a squared is negative 18 over 2 times 1 squared. So negative 9 squared, 81. So I need factors that multiply to 81 that add to 18. Multiply to 81 and add to 18. So 9 times 9 is 81, and it adds to 18. So I'm going to rewrite this as m plus 9 times m plus 9 equals 18. I can rewrite that as m plus 9 squared equals 18. To get rid of a squared, I square root. Oop, I kind of killed my 1 there. M plus 9, I don't need that anymore, equals, let's do the square root of 18. And remember, on your calculators, if you have the TI-31, you're going to hit second, x squared button, 18, enter. And that's going to give you plus or minus 4.2. I want you guys to carry 1 decimal on these. So now I'm going to rewrite 2 equations. M plus 9 equals positive 4.2. M plus 9 equals negative 4.2. So then I'm going to subtract 9 from 4.2. I'm going to get m equals negative 4.8. And I got that from minusing 9 from both sides. I'm going to do the same thing over here. Negative 4.2 minus 9 equals negative 13.2. And those are my 2 answers. Okay, now your homework is, let's go back to right here. Homework, odds or evens for 2 through 17, but I did 4 of those already. Awesome. And then 18 and 19, because those are the quadratic equations. Okay. All right. Have a great weekend, and I will see you in a couple weeks.